Ghetto.
Hi everybody, welcome to this week's Ghetto vlog, and man, it promises to be a good one. There's loads cracking on this week. Just update you firstly with a few things that I've been doing over the last couple of days. So, firstly, shout out to everybody that made me aware that I'd missed Batman Origins in my local charity shop. Yes, CEX are charging £10 for that game now. I went back, thankfully they still had it in stock, so I was able to pick that up. So massive shout out to everybody that made me aware that that one slipped through my fingers. Also, on a less positive note, you might remember a few weeks ago we discussed a leak that I had. And the builders came out, we thought it was maybe just like a sealing issue in and around the window frame. So what they did was resealed certain parts outside and ran some seal along the inside. But that didn't solve the problem. You'll see it on screen now. I came in the other day and it was like a real sort of like a puddle that had built up, much to my anger, should I say? I don't know if anger is the right word. Disappointment. But I think we've got to the root cause of it now. I think the issue is this handle. It seems to be that the water was coming through the handle, which is why I've got the tea towel here and this dehumidifier, which I've had on permanently ever since, and I've had the heating up a bit higher in here as well, just to sort of like dry out this area. You can see where it's a little bit water damaged now. I've spoke to the builders again and the window company, and they seem to think there's just a drainage issue inside the window itself, so the water is building up inside the window and then it's coming out the nearest outlet, which is the handle, and then it's trickling down, then over time it's creating that bit of a puddle. Apparently it's not a big job. They're going to come out later in the week to fix that, so it'd be nice to finally get that sorted out, because I will have to do a bit of a repair job on the inside of the window frame, a little bit of sanding and repainting. So yeah, nothing too bad in the grand scheme of things, but just something I could do without, but it is what it is. I'm looking now at the fruitful results of this week's CEX Lottery. If you haven't watched my video, I sort of share all my opinions on recent changes in collecting, CEX collecting, and we managed to open a couple of nice 360 games. We've built up quite a pile of new games since we last did a montage, so we've got a lot of stuff to get put away in this room. Speaking of this room, we've got a lot of things to do in here. There's a lot of tweaks I want to make. There's a few things I want to get right because, yeah, I want this looking, you guessed it, better than ever for next Wednesday's video, which we'll discuss later on in the vlog. I'm also going to be discussing at length this road trip that I keep teasing you guys with. I'm so excited for this. I've waited weeks and weeks and weeks. There's a road trip coming real soon, just a weekend full of game hunting, so I'm going to discuss that with you guys later in the vlog as well. But we're going to kick things off with a bang. We've got a couple of parcels to open here, one of which is a CEX Lottery. There's actually another CEX Lottery on its way, it's just not arrived yet, which is something I'm really looking forward to. But like I said, there's so much going on. Let's get into these parcels. Right, okay, and breathe, relax. There's been so much going on this week already, and yeah, there's so much still to come. But let's take a second, shall we, to just calm it down, have a sip on some tea, and open a couple of parcels. So, first one just arrived today. This is from, shout out to Brad, friend of the channel, Brad. I mentioned him so many times. He's really been on the hunt for me in terms of PlayStation 3 essentials. And he keeps sending me pictures when he's in CEX. Massively appreciate it. And he came across one that I didn't already own. And it's one that I've been really wanting to add to my collection. It's quite a cheap title, I believe. But for a franchise that I really enjoy, and for some reason this is one that I haven't played, even though it's the first one, and that is Darksiders. So if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you'll remember that I played through Darksiders 2, I think not last year, the year before, and I absolutely loved it, fell in love with it. I bought the collector's edition, which has like pride of place now on my 360 area. Like pretty much as soon as you walk in the room, I've actually like adapted the shelf and everything to be able to display it. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. Like, I can't even explain how much I enjoyed it. I featured that game on lots of different videos. I spoke about like the best games that are cheap. It's like a £1 game or something ridiculous. Basically, if you haven't played Darksiders 2, there's no excuse not to. And I've heard good things about the first Darksiders, so this is definitely one I need to play. I tried to play Darksiders Genesis. It's a very different style of game, didn't really enjoy it, and I've not heard many good things about Darksiders 3. So I'd love them to sort of like maybe do a Darksiders 4 and return to that original formula. But to my knowledge, the first one plays very much like the second, so If that is the case, then this is definitely a game that I need to get playing. But yeah, shout out to Brad as always, and just another addition. And guys, I feel like I'm a proper grown-up now. I'm a functioning grown-up because I've actually got a list. I've printed a list. I've formatted it and everything. So this is a complete list that was sent across to me by a viewer of the channel. Thank you very much. Of the PS3 essentials. I'll show some overlay on screen now so you guys can take your time to screenshot it or whatever you need to do should you be interested. But yeah, I've now got a list. I mean, I say like a grown-up. It's a list of video games, right? It's not like a list of financial do's and don'ts or things I need to do with my life. But yeah, just a list of video games that I want to buy. According to this list, there's 194. So if you've got any different lists or you think there's more than that, make sure you let me know. But this is what I'm going to be working towards. So at some point this week, I'm going to go through and tick all the games off. So it just makes it easy for me to have this sort of like compendium, if you like, of games that I need to add. Just looking at it now, there's so many that I didn't know were on essentials. You can see here, FIFA 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I rarely see FIFA games in the PS3 essentials format. So yeah, it's opened my eyes to a lot of games that I was not aware of previously that I still need to find. But yeah, we'll get to all that later on. Like I say, there's a big pile of games that need putting away. There's a big montage coming. I might do that very shortly, of which a lot of them are essentials. So yeah, nice one for that. And then we move on to what is a CEX Lottery of sorts. So since I made a video saying that I wasn't, you know, it was the final CEX Lottery, I've done a lot of CEX Lotteries. But this is a Super Nintendo game, and of course it is listed as having a manual. So the lottery element of it really just comes down to whether or not it's in good enough condition. This is a game that I have referenced recently. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's just open it, right? I'll have a look, see if there's an invoice or anything. No, nothing that I can see. And I used to take real care of these boxes, right? Because they're such good boxes. And I hate selling things and not having a box. I think how many boxes I have and throw away. But my car is full of boxes, honestly. I've got to that point where I've got more than enough boxes. It's like I've got that cupboard full of carry bags. Am I the only person that's got a cupboard full of carry bags from supermarkets? And yet every time I go to the supermarket, forget to take one and have to buy another one and add it to the, the cupboard of carrier bags. I feel like I'm digressing here with my midlife problems. But yeah, so let's get into this. It looks very green, which I wasn't expecting. I didn't think it was a green game. Right, the invoice is wrapped up with it, which is unusual. Okay, this looks to be very good condition. That game is Mickey Mania. So as you might expect, this is a Disney platformer, and the reason I've spoken about this game recently is that I had a good charity shop find recently. And one of the games that I found was Mickey's Wild Adventure. I remember looking at the back of this box and just like getting hit with nostalgia, right? Like, oh my days, I remember playing that. I remember that Steamboat Willie level because it sort of takes you through the journey of Mickey Mouse. And I think this is the version I played as a child. I can't be 100% sure. But it's basically this game, to my knowledge, right? I think it's just the same game, but somewhat maybe slightly enhanced on the PlayStation. And I'm 90% sure I had this game in my current iteration, my current collection. Somebody sent me a message a couple of months back asking me if I wanted to buy any of these Super Nintendo games that they had. And I said, oh no, I've got them all, thank you. And one of them was Mickey Mania. And I was sitting here looking and I thought, well, where is Mickey Mania? Because I've got like a Disney section. I have no clue what happened to my Mickey Mania. Maybe I dreamt it. Maybe I never owned it. Maybe I was getting confused with a Mega Drive. Have I got it on the Mega Drive? I don't know. I genuinely don't know, right? Not many people come into my games rooms. Certainly nobody that I would suspect of foul play. And if you were going to steal something from my games room, it won't be Mickey Mania. So I don't know what happened to it, where it went. But what I do know is it's a cheap, somewhat readily available, quite a common title. It must have sold very well. So it was never going to be a difficult one for me to add to the collection. But I am very, very impressed with this collection. I'm sitting here now looking at it. It's really like solid. I won't be surprised if there's bubble wrap or something in here. It feels so like rigid and stiff and quite heavy. But yeah, as you can see, really nice condition. Just a couple of stickers, which we should be able to get rid of on this vlog a little later on. So let me open it up. Like I say, the lottery element of it is gone. But yeah, I mean, this is beautiful. Look at that. Like many things in life, the condition of the flaps says a lot about the rest of it. I'll leave you with that. I'm not going to expand on that anymore. But yeah, really nice condition. Manuals, lovely. Games, legit as you'd expect. I don't think people are faking Mickey Mania. And that's about as good as you can hope for, right? If anything, if I was trying to find a negative, maybe very slight sun fading on this side, if you can compare it to that side. But yeah, that's a CEX Lottery win, even though it was coming with the manual. Can't ask for much more than that. So yeah, really happy with that. I've got a nice essential, I've got a SNES game. What a way to start what is going to be a very busy week, right? Like I said, there's loads of jobs we need to be getting on with here in this room. Tomorrow, we're going on a hunt. We'll discuss that a little bit more later because this is my sort of gaming evening. I've got time set aside to play some games. I'm going to be jumping into Block Knockers. If you watched last week's vlog, you'll know, because I need to get on that, film that for the Ghetto Gang. But I'm loving Prince of Persia. It's just one of them games, especially with it being on the Switch. I'm just picking it up every chance I get, which admittedly has not been very often. But I'm really, really enjoying it. I'll probably discuss it a little bit more tonight. Should I be able to sit here and play a bit and I'll be able to show you guys some of the gameplay. But yeah, it's just nice when you get a new game, you spend that money to buy a game at RRP, which I very rarely do, and you don't regret it at all. Like, I'm absolutely loving it. But it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. It's one of them games you can put a couple of hours into and not really get very far. But yeah, as I say, we'll discuss that a little bit later on. Yeah, I'll check in with you guys later. Okay, so that's the lists procured. Most of the games put away. I stress most because we need to get the stickers off Mickey Mania. And I haven't yet put 360 away because there might be a big Xbox edition coming later on this vlog. So the whole area is going to have to be reworked. So we'll get to that later in the week. It is time now for me to jump back into Prince of Persia. I finally got like a decent few hours I can really sink into this. Tea's ready, snacks are on the go. Let's get into it. Ghetto. Good morning. So last night I played Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown until quite late. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, just a real Metroidvania in every sense of the word. I remember there was a Switch Up review of it before it came out, and I saw they headlined that it was similar to Hollow Knight, and it is in a sense of it's not the sort of Metroidvania where you just run through enemies. You've really got to take time. You have to parry. You have to block. But very enjoyable. One of them ones that has that real risk-reward element. You know, if you go further, you know, you could die and then you sort of like lose a few of your, I think they're gems. and then you're transported back to the last place you was able to save it. And yeah, really enjoying the mechanics of the game. My only criticism of it would be a similar criticism to what I had with another Ubisoft game, Immortals Phoenix Rising, another game I really enjoyed. But the voice acting, like, I just don't think the voice acting fit the theme. You know, like, for me, if you're going to go like historic, mythologic, you know, sort of like warriors, I don't want it to be voiced by real cheesy, almost like children's voiceover actors. That's what it sounds like to me. So pro tip, if you're going to get Prince of Persia, what I've done is I've changed the language to Persian. So I'm reading it in subtitles and it just sounds less cheesy. I can't think of a better word. Corny, if you're watching in America. Yeah, it just sounds more palatable for my ears in Persian. So I'm preferring doing that. But that's a very small criticism of what otherwise is a very good game that I'm really enjoying thus far. And I really see myself finishing it and hopefully being my 10th game of the year, because I've got a couple of games that I've got right to the end on and I haven't yet finished, so we're going to have to go back to after Prince of Persia. But anyway, today is Game Hunt Day. I'm heading to Derby. There's a couple of reasons why I'm heading to Derby. Let me flip the camera around, I'll tell you why. If you saw Wednesday's video, you will know that I have recently traded in a few of my PlayStation 1 games. I returned like a £90 voucher, which left me with quite a surplus of games. These games here are going to my friend Kev, who doesn't have them in his vast collection, so I'm going to be giving him them very soon. And that has left me with this pile. So there's a couple of places in Derby where I could potentially trade these in. Close to the CEX, there is Mobile Games Exchange, there's Retro World, and there's even a Crack Generators. So 3 shops all within close distance of CEX, all of which could potentially trade these two. So basically, I'll just see who gives me the best money. We'll go there and potentially trade, buy some video games, the usual good stuff that we do. But before I head on out to Derby to go and hunt for some games and trade these in, we need to get that Mickey Mania game sorted out. This gold sticker here has proven a real challenge. It's one of them like real stiff, hard, almost like metallic finish stickers. It did not want to budge. You try and take it from the corners, it wasn't happening. I think I'm going to be able to get rid of this, but using all of my techniques. So I started with the heat of the hairdryer, nothing really happened. Now what I've then done is I've gone to the lighter fluid. Now the lighter fluid, let it soak in a little bit, and it's been able to take off that top layer, that metallic layer, which is perfect. Once you get through to that next layer, that will easily come off with a bit of Mr. Sheen, a little bit of thumb work like you guys have seen before. But yeah, don't be afraid to use more than one technique on each sticker, because yeah, sometimes that's what it takes. All these stickers have sort of like different finishes, different adhesives. I'm going to put a little bit more lighter fluid on it now, then get the rest of this gold off, and then as I say, we'll use the old Mr. Sheen, scrape the adhesive off, and then we'll move on to this one, which probably will just be a Mr. Sheen job. And that's Mickey Mania done. Really happy with how it's turned out. A slight bit of residue left there, but it's not worth risking taking off the artwork for that. You're not going to see it once it's in a box protector. There was a slight bit of damage already here, and a slight bit of damage, I think, underneath the sticker. I may have made it worse by taking the sticker off very slightly, but generally speaking, really happy with it. I think it looks loads better than it did with the stickers on. I've given it a real clean, especially on the black ink. It really shows the dirt after all these decades of use. So I always sort of polish the black areas especially. And yeah, this is definitely now SNES wall worthy. So let's get it in a protector and let's get it added to the Disney section. Okay, job done. Let's go hunt some video games. Okay, so we've made it to Derby, and before we head to CEX, which is right in front of me, we're going to see what we can get for these PlayStation 1 games. I think the first stop will be Mobile Game Exchange, which usually has some really nice retro in there. Prices can be up and down, but they seem to be better as of late, so let's go and take a look. Okay, so that was Mobile Game Exchange. Some really nice stuff on the shelves as normal. They offered me £20 cash, 30 trading, which I was hoping for a bit more. However, he said leave it with me because there's a Super Nintendo game in there that I want. It's listed for £100, but I pointed out to him that it's been selling for a lot less on eBay, which he agreed. So he said pop back, I'll have a look, see what I can do for you. So worst case scenario, we might be able to do a deal with these games and potentially a price reduced, quite hard to find, Super Nintendo game. So that is an option. What I'm going to do now is head to Retro World just across the road, and we'll see what they'll give me. Okay, as you can see, Retro World's not open yet, so slight change of plan. What I'm going to do now is head on to CEX, see what they've got in stock. I've already popped my head into cash converters. They said they don't really take disc-based games anymore. They've hardly got any video games in this one, so it's obviously not for them. But yeah, man, let's see what's going on. CEX. Okay, let's hunt for essentials. Okay, so that ended up being a very fruitful trip to CEX. Got quite a few games actually, like special editions and stuff I found on the shelf, so really happy with that. Hopefully Retro World's open now, so we'll see what price we can get there for these PS1 games. More importantly than games, I've secured the bag. Okay, so that was Retro World. Had a good chat with the owners. They've got a lot going on. They're offering like a new loyalty scheme, similar to like what you get at Starbucks and things like that, which is really cool to see. They offered me pretty much the same price, but there was nothing in there that I needed. I wanted that magic sword, but it was a little bit expensive for me given the condition. There was no sort of like flaps were missing entirely, sadly, and no manual. So yeah, we're going to head back to Mobile Game Exchange and see if we can thrash out a deal. Okay, so it's all worked out really well. Managed to get that uncommon Super Nintendo game, plus something else, and then everything I got at CEX. Yeah, I didn't anticipate to grab as much as I have. I've got a couple of errands to run whilst I'm in the city centre. I'll get that done, get back to the 3.0 because yeah, I'll show you guys what I picked up, and there's loads of jobs to be cracking on with as well. Right, we're back. CEX bag's been emptied. And yeah, let's take a look at what we got, shall we? So the postman has been as well whilst I was out. This is a gift, I believe. Obviously, I've not opened it yet. But I did have a viewer of the channel, Charles, reach out to me. So shout out to you, sir. And he basically said to me he was getting rid of this. Doesn't fit in his collection anymore. Would I like it? And the answer was most definitely. So let me get into this. I should have brought my trusty knife with me, which I didn't do. So let's just open it. Is there a note? There is a note. Right, okay, so I was just checking that the note was okay to read, and it is. It says, "Hi Callum, hope you and the whole Ghetto family are doing well. We're all doing very well, thank you very much. Mini Ghetto is in the house, I think sleeping actually, as we speak. I I say sleeping, let's hope so. Please accept this small gift as a thanks for the awesome content we get to watch every week. I appreciate it. Me and my little lad, I won't mention his name, watch every Sunday. Shout out to you, young man, you know who you are. I've just one complaint about the channel. A few vlogs back, you saw the Manchester United SNES game. And you didn't buy it. It should be the pride of your SNES war. Disgraceful behaviour. That is the one SNES game I actually don't want. I was joking with the owner of that shop last time I went in, Rich at Game Shack, that I might just annoy everybody's OCD, right? Just complete the full set and not buy the Manchester United game. It'll probably have to be the last game I buy. All the best and keep up the good work, Martin. I think on Facebook he was Charles Martin, but yeah, Martin. So much appreciated, Martin. Thank you very much. As I say, I do know what he'd sent me. He reached out and asked me if I wanted it. And that is the Devil May Cry sleeve book for the Xbox One. I think this was something I owned on the PlayStation 4, but I'm going more heavy towards these kind of things for the Xbox systems for some reason. I don't know, I think it's the green, man. They just display better. I'm going over to the green side, I think. But yeah, much appreciated. Really beautiful steelbook, that one. So thank you very much, Martin. And shout out to your lad as well. Thank you both for watching. And then that takes us on to the pickups that we got. Looking for my tea. The pickups that we got during the trip to Derby. I never expected it to be this fruitful. I thought I was just going to pop in, hopefully find one or two things. But yeah, so we'll start with the CEX finds. The first game that we found, I think you guys saw on camera, was a PS3 Essentials, and that was Mortal Kombat. As you can see, not a particularly cheap game for a PlayStation 3 title, but that is often the case with one-on-one fighters. One-on-one fighters, shooters, they just are games which tend to hold their value. So yeah, £10, and that could well be offset by the fact that I already own this game, and then give £6 trade-in, so that would take it down to £4. However, what I need to check out is what's behind this sticker, and you'll see why in a second. Because, yeah, that's right, I can trade it in. Okay, so on my other version of this game, it says like in quite big letters on the side that you can play as Kratos, and I found it really fun. I've played through it. I'm actually tempted to play this once I've finished showing you guys what I bought. It's been a while since I've played through it. But yeah, what's really good about the PlayStation version of Mortal Kombat is that you can play as Kratos, and it's old school aggressive Kratos as well, right? No beard Kratos. But I couldn't see that because of the price sticker. But that now means that I can trade in the other version, which I knew had Kratos on, if any of that makes sense. So yeah, that's basically takes that down to like a £4 cost of me adding another PS3 Essentials to the collection. And then I turn my attention to the Xbox section in CEX. Again, I think you saw this on the footage. The first one which caught my eye is something I already own, but I couldn't leave this behind. I don't own this particular version. Grand Theft Auto 5, I think everyone on the planet owns this game at some point, right? But it's so clean. So this is the, what do they call it? The special edition. Now I see this a lot. I've come across the Steelbook no end of times in charity shops. I think at one point I had like 3 of these Steelbooks. I think I gave some away, or maybe even thrown one away that wasn't in great condition. But I only ever see the complete version of it battered, and I don't like having Steelbooks that don't have like the sleeve or the original outer case. This is in fantastic condition, and it's just the basic price. So it's the basic £6. Once again, what I can do is I can trade in my old copy. My old copy returns a £4 voucher, so this has effectively cost me £2. So you can see there's a theme here, right? Of these absolute bargains that I'm finding. I had a quick look whilst I was in there, and I could see that this was complete because it was full. As I say, the Steelbook, sorry. Again, this is the nicest condition I've ever seen this Steelbook, and it's like it's never been touched. Really nice. Obviously complete with all the map and all the discs and everything. So it comes with 2 discs. Is one an installation disc? I can't remember anymore. Yeah, I think one's an installation disc. And then, what else do we get with this? So basically, apart from the Steelbook, the special edition comes with what I'm assuming is a map. I've never actually seen this before. Yeah, so just a huge map. Yeah, like I say, it all looks like it's never been touched for some reason. But love finding games like this at the standard price. And especially when I've got a version myself, which I can now trade in. Yeah, very, very happy with that. And on a similar theme, but even better, I then found this copy of Mass Effect Trilogy. Now, Mass Effect Trilogy on the Xbox 360 is £8. This is an okay condition, not as mint as the Grand Theft Auto, but you know, decent enough. And you guys know how much I'm going for 360 big box special editions, that kind of thing, for the 360 area, which you can see there. But like I say, even better, because this cost me £8. I own this on the PlayStation 3. I actually found this in a charity shop, my local charity shop, in really nice condition. It cost me like £1.50 or something. And here's where it gets like interesting. They sell this for £8, but for some reason the PlayStation 3 version of this they sell for £20, and it's got £13 trading. So I'm effectively making £5 worth of trade value by buying this one, which I'd rather have because, like I say, 360 is my focus, especially for collector's editions and big box things. So I'll trade in my PlayStation 3 one now, effectively be £5 up, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. It just kind of all sort of come together, right? So basically, if you're playing along at home and you're doing the maths, these 3 games, by the time I've traded in their equivalents, have cost me £1. And guys, that's how you got to do it, right? I made a whole video on Wednesday. It was released on Wednesday, talking about, like, you know, how you've got to change the way you collect, and there's a way that you can collect and keep the prices down. Well, this is one way to do it. Just sort of like watch the markets, and obviously it helps if you already own versions of these games. But yeah, to be adding 2 special editions and the new essentials, and for it to ultimately cost me £1, absolutely delighted with that. What a trip to CEX that was. And then, obviously, we've got the purchases from Mobile Game Exchange. Mobile Game Exchange is a shop that I never used to go in. A couple of years back, when I lived more locally to Derby, a few years back now, sorry, I thought it was very overpriced. From what I can gather, the owner used to be more hands-on, and his pricing structure and the way he did things led to a lot of expensive games, in my opinion. In recent times, the last 2 or 3 times I've been there, the prices are a lot more realistic. The manager's sound, I've spoke to him a lot every time I've been in there, and he's fair. You know, if you say to him, oh, you know, this seems a bit overpriced, I've seen it on eBay for this, then he'll happily look at it and reevaluate it. Yeah, you can't ask for much more than that, and that's definitely what happened today. We'll get to that in a minute, but I effectively got a game that was listed at £100 for... Anyway, well, I said I'll get to that in a minute. Before that, another PS3 Essentials, Rayman Legends. So this is a good example of what I was talking about with pricing. So this is £6, and CX, I believe, sell this for £8. So that was a decent find. I already had Rayman Origins on PS3 Essentials. And this is the beauty of that list. By just looking at that list and going through and ticking ones off, it made me sort of realise, oh, there's 2 Rayman games that I needed. Whereas previously, because I own Rayman Origins, I might have seen Legends and thought, I've already got that. But I haven't. So now I have both the Rayman games, and yeah, the Essentials list is really, really growing now. Anyway, so now I can talk to you guys about this. So, this game was listed for £100. I saw it last time I went in there. It's the only time I've ever seen this game. Very uncommon game. Just one you do not see. There's one listing of it on eBay currently for £350. But here's the thing. The last sold one was in November, and it was for £50, and it was in good condition. So that's what I alerted him to, the manager, and he said, fine, we'll match it. So that was brilliant. I can't shout them out enough for that. So then by the time you add the £30 that I got for the PlayStation 1 stuff that I had taken in, I'm struggling today. I think I need a sip of Yorkshire. Let's see if I can talk any better now. By the time I'd taken the PlayStation 1 money into account, this basically cost me £20. And that game is Boxing Legends of the Ring. It's in conjunction with Ring Magazine. I think they sort of like sponsored it. And in the American version, there's like a lot of HBO advertising. But anyway, the game itself. So it's a 1993 sculptured software developed boxing game in which the camera sort of sits over the shoulder of your chosen fighter. What sets this apart from a lot of other sort of boxing games in and around the genre is the amount of licensed fighters that it's got. It's got Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns, James Toney, Hagler, we've got LaMotta, we've got Sugar Ray Robinson and more. As you'll be seeing on screen, the graphics are quite good. It's very obvious as to which fighter is which, and the way in which they portray how damaged the fighters are is really interesting to me. Rather than having like a power bar which depletes as you get hit, they've just got the characters' faces and they sort of get more damaged as the fight goes on. Similar to like the losing screen on Street Fighter 2 where they all look bloody and beaten. It's kind of like that, so that's how you keep abreast of the damage of the fighters, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, like I say, one that you don't see. One which sold in November for £50, which is what brought the price down. But the one that is listed on eBay for £350 or something is the only one, the only PAL version of this game listed on eBay. So yeah, very uncommon. I'm very happy to be adding it because these are the sort of games that are going to be tricky to find as I go, and continue on this full set journey. We're very close now to being halfway there, and yeah, these are the obscure ones that I really want to be ticking off. There was also like a Mexican version of this game. I think it was called Chavez Boxing Jr. I think they jumped on the hype of having a big Mexican fighter at the time. And as I say, there was also the American version, which had more sort of like HBO advertisings, but the whole thing is based at the Hilton in Las Vegas. So I think it's very heavily influenced by advertisers. But yeah, just a nice game to be adding to the list, and to walk into a shop, see a game listed for £100 and effectively be able to buy it for 20 quid after taking in what I think is a load of trash PlayStation 1 games. Absolutely fantastic. Buzzing with that. Buzzing with everything, man. Like, yeah, what a great little trip out that was. And now we can sort of like look at what came from the PlayStation 1 games that I traded in. So I had nearly £90 voucher. I got the £30 trading today. I've done a good deal with Kev because he's a friend of mine, but he's taken a lot of these as well, and yeah, to now end up with that all killer no filler PlayStation shelf, all the benefits of doing so have been fantastic. So really glad that I've done that, and that's where we're going to go next. I think there's lots of jobs in here that need doing, but there's quite a few changes that I want to make in this sort of area that I'm looking at here. So yeah, let's crack on with that. Right, okay guys, it's been a good few hours since I last checked in, and that's because I was playing through Knock Blockers for the Ghetto Gang. I put that video together, that's now live for the Ghetto Gang. Had a lot of fun, I must say, playing through a couple of levels on Block Knockers. But whilst that's been sorting itself out, I've been real busy, and because the video was processing and whatnot and uploading, I kind of just been cracking on, which is good because I've got a lot done. And I haven't really had to think about filming or anything like that. So this is a pile of stuff which is all going to the legend that is known as Kev. I said a week or so ago I was getting rid of Time Crisis 4. Just don't have room for these like big box things. I'm thinning out my big box stuff. And I've already told you guys about the PlayStation 1 stuff that he's having. So that's all stuff that's come out. And yeah, so that left me with quite a nice blank canvas. And I've been busy rearranging the shelves ever since. So first change is down at the bottom here, the PlayStation 2 section. So previously the big box PS2 stuff was at that end, but I've now put it down here. And that has allowed me to drop this down slightly. We've still got God of War Ascension here, obviously, I mean it just fits like a glove. And then above that, I've finally been able to give this statue the home it deserves. I absolutely love this thing. I think it's the best video game statue ever made, in my opinion. Absolutely love it. I'm not the biggest Assassin's Creed fan in the world. I did enjoy Odyssey, being a big fan of Greek mythology. But I mean, just look at the statue. Yeah, love that. Love that I could finally display it. The Lego army probably won't stay there. That's just been put there for now. But yeah, really happy with how that's come together. We've got a couple of empty shelves underneath the All Killer PlayStation section. My small display Carhartt has just been moved there to prop up the Switch. After the huge positive reception that the All-Stars section, shrine, whatever you want to call it, has got, I've rejigged it a little bit. it didn't quite fit in with the rest of the room, having it like angled. Before the games were angled, so I moved it all around to get everything sort of straight lines, flat to the shelves, and keeping with the rest of the room. So yeah, really happy with how that's come together. The WWF VHS WrestleMania box is moved. This is just a bit of a temporary shelf right now. There's not really much going on with this one. But moving all the other things has allowed me to put the bigger box PS3 stuff down here. The Hellgast helmet's just gone into that gap for now. It's all still very much a work in progress, but yeah, I'm happy with where we're at thus far. We've got all the Xbox stuff here. Like I say, I'm hoping, I've had an email, it should be tomorrow we get that big parcel I've been telling you about, and then we're going to be able to revamp the whole Xbox area, including getting all this stuff put in, so I'm very, very excited about that. And I think that's mostly what I've done. I can't think of too much else. I've put my new essentials away. I counted, I'm now at 72 essentials. I don't know how it's grown so fast. Last time I counted I was at like 50. So yeah, the essentials collection's coming along nicely, and yeah, that's gonna pretty much everything I've done. Retro Ghetto. Morning guys, we're back at it. There's still loads that needs doing in here today. Yeah, was at it real late last night and we're back at it early this morning. Okay, so the plan for today is just to keep cracking on. Loads of jobs, we still need to get things put on shelves, we still need to rearrange. There's also a lot of DIY jobs that need doing. There's a few holes that need filling, there's a few bits that need touching up with paint. There's a few bits of trunking that we need to fix or add to, which we'll get to later on. And the plan is to just keep doing that until my Xbox package arrives, which is definitely coming today. I've had confirmation. Then we're going to be able to sort out the whole Xbox area, which I'm really excited about. There's so much like new additions to be put in that area. And the reason I'm doing all this, I mean, I do it all the time, right? But the reason it's so pressing and that I want to get the room looking, well, you already know, is I'm doing a room tour. So the room tour is going to be live on Wednesday. Now, the reason I'm doing the room tour is because I want to do a room tour every year. I've decided I just want to do one a year in January, just as a way so I can sort of like track it myself. I think it would be great to look back at different years of room tours and see how much the room progresses each year. Now, I know a lot of you guys have seen the room a lot, and I appreciate you guys watching the vlogs every week, but I'll do my best to make it interesting for those that have already seen the room, as well as new viewers to the channel, because I mean, everyone loves a room tour, right? So yeah, I'm going to be cracking on for, yeah, the foreseeable to get this done so that I can film the latest iteration of the Retro Ghetto 3.0. So that's very much the inspiration right now. Yeah, so until the parcel arrives, we're going to keep cracking on with these jobs. And before we get out of here, I'm going to detail the plans as for this road trip that we've got coming up as well, because yeah, that's coming real soon. So the first of many jobs takes us to the GameCube shelf. As you can see, these games aren't sitting like they should be. There's a big gap here, and that's because when I put my trunking hack in with the GameCube, the piece that I had was slightly bowed, and over time it's just like more twisted, and then when the games push against it, it's sort of like, as you can see, it's just not straight anymore, and that's just led to the games not sitting flush against the edge of the shelf like they should be, like the Wii U ones. So yeah, the first job is to remove this, take this off, put a new piece of trunking on. Simple job, and then we'll have GameCube looking nice and straight again. There we go, job done. These are all sat nicely. Oh. Take two. It's all done. It feels so much better now I know that's done, because it's just been annoying me, right? Those little things annoy you after a while, that I kept having to rearrange the GameCube games because of that trunking issue. That's sorted out. The only other bit of trunking now left in the room is this bottom row here. The very bottom row of PS3. At one point it didn't bother me because they were all nice and neatly aligned, and because that shelf above is so tight, they're all in place. But over time, obviously, you take games out and play games and things, and then it just becomes a mess. So yeah, we're gonna have to do the trunking there, and then that should be all the trunking done. Here's a little hack. If you run out of trunking slightly, whoop, job done. Okay, it's another job done. still so much to do and such little time to do it. Are you going to help? You actually shook your head, didn't you? Alright. Good job, you're cute. Looks like it's all on me. Let's go. Okay, so the next job is filling some holes. There's random little holes throughout the room where I've had like standees move about and things like that. Also, I need to fill some of these holes. Look, so at the top of the risers you get these little holes if you want to rise again. As you can see, I previously filled them. It just takes your eye off that little mark, right? So that's something else. Yeah, these are the kind of little jobs that we need to get done. So if my Mario All-Stars shrine is to stay, that means we've got a gap up there where the 2 Mario games were, which means we can promote a couple of these games. The question is, which couple? So I decided to go with Doom and Space Invaders. Just classic games, right? Iconic artwork. Next. Okay, so life and responsibilities has slightly got in the way of jobs in here. I've got to nip down to the locals, but obviously we can spin that into a positive. We're going to go and take a look at CEX, so we can trade in the games that I got the duplicates of yesterday. So, yeah, let's go and do that. Okay, so I'm just in Home Bargains, or B&M. I always get confused. I think it's Home Bargains. I'm in the toy aisle. I mean, I love only fools and horses. I'm not sure who needs a gold Boise, but yeah, they've got them here. And imagine being the one person that paid full price for these He-Man figures. I thought it was cheap at £5, $2.99. These will be £1 before long. Anyway, it's not what I came here. Guys, I've been in every pound shop, every toy shop, looking for this thing, and I started to question its existence until the last toy shop, and it's this stuff. So it's like tape, but for Lego. It's like a self-adhesive. Looked on Amazon last night. It's like £10. It's £1.75 in here. It's the perfect colour. It's like the sand colour that we want. I've got a plan for the minifigures, and yeah, we'll use this when we get back. Well happy with that. Let's go. Ended up being a great little trip out to the locals. So not only did I pick up this like Lego roll that I was telling you guys about, I started to think I'd dreamed seeing this. I knew I'd seen it somewhere. Like I said, I found it in a toy shop. We're going to get to that shortly because I've got a plan for this and my Lego army. But obviously when I went into CEX to trade in those duplicates of the games we bought yesterday, I found an essentials that I needed. So I picked up Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. It's actually Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. I think it's better Sonic All-Stars. Anyway, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. And again, this is another one that I would have missed if it wasn't for that list that I've acquired, because I already own Sonic and All-Stars Racing. I didn't realise there was All-Stars Racing Transformed and All-Stars Racing. This is the kind of thing you got to do if you're going to full set something. But yeah, it's nice to find another one of these in person. But more importantly than any of that, that parcel has finally arrived. So yeah, let's go and get into that. It came! It finally came! Excuse my Sid from Toy Story impression there.
It came! It finally came!
Yeah, but I'm a little bit excited by this. So yeah, we've been waiting on this parcel arriving. As you can see, it's a big one.
Big one.
This is... I mean, it's a CEX Lottery. I've not even given any thought to the fact that this might not be in the condition I want it to be in, and ultimately won't be able to be added to my Xbox area. So yeah, it's quite a damning thought. So let's move past that negativity, shall we? This is, of course, a collector's edition. So if you guys have been watching and keeping abreast of my Xbox 360 collection and its growth, you'll know that I really enjoy 360 collector's editions that aren't too big, ones that are like the same height as the games. This one is one which is very uncommon. I had an alert saved on this for a while, and then it finally came to stock. I bought it straight away at CEX. I think it goes for quite a bit more on eBay, but again, you don't even see many of them on eBay. This was £70, and I think, to be honest, it's probably a bit overpriced for what it is, but it's more the fact, like I say, it's uncommon. You just don't see it very often at all. The American version differs from this, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get into it first, right? Man, they've gone to town with this box. Okay, so, ooh, I mean, that packaging. Okay, so there's no immediate damage. I'm not going to show you what it is just yet. It spoils the moment, right? But you've got a big box. You've got all this, like, void fill and wrap. And look at that. Like, it's right up against the corner of the box. Kind of defeats the point, right? So hopefully this isn't too badly damaged. We shall see. I'll let you guys see it first. So this is the collector's edition of Mortal Kombat 9. Right, let's have a quick look then. Okay, it looks alright, to be fair. It's a bit opened here. Slight bit of creasing in the back of that. That doesn't matter, because obviously that's the flap which is just going to go in anyway. Yeah. I think I'm happy with that. The only thing that's slightly annoying, and it is only slight, is there's a slight bump in the window there, look. So you don't really want damage on the window ideally, but it's such a small bump. It actually looks worse with the lighting on there. But yeah, really happy with this. As you can see, guys, this pretty much fits the bill. It's not too tall. You guys know I love a collector's edition from this era that has a window with a figure inside. And yeah, there doesn't really seem to be any sun damage or anything. If anywhere was faded, potentially the top, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a bit duller, but you won't see that anyway. That's how it's going to sit. And yeah, like I say, it's just not one that you see very often. I love the fact it's got Sub-Zero one side, Scorpion on the other. And we've already discussed somewhat at length Mortal Kombat 9 on this vlog. I've already played it on this vlog. In some ways, I prefer the American version. So the American version of this actually comes with two separate statues which make up like bookends. It looks brilliant. But it wouldn't display as well as a collector's edition. The box, I don't like the box. The box is quite long and it's not symmetrical. Whilst the statue itself I think is better, this is the better display box in my opinion. So yeah, let's have a look. Let's take a look inside and let's see what you get for £70. Okay, so as you would expect, copy of the game. I don't think I already own the game. Let's have a look. No, don't already own it on the 360, so I won't be able to trade that against the cost of this. But yeah, all seems really nice condition. I mean, there's a hair. Ugh. Other than that, it is in nice condition. And then there's, wow, that's really nice. So there's the Art of Mortal Kombat book. I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but it's like embossed, it's gloss. The actual background to it is textured. Really nice book that. You'll be seeing on screen now the artwork in here. I enjoyed Mortal Kombat 9. I've not played all the Mortal Kombats. I played like the original trilogy on the Super Nintendo when I was a kid, and then like kind of missed out a lot of them. Didn't really play any on the PS2 or anything like that. But I have played and enjoyed Mortal Kombat 9. Yeah, very nice artwork that. And then we have got what I suppose is the main event, the statue itself. Try and take this out carefully without causing any damage to anything. Okay, it's out. So it's not the biggest or best statue I've ever seen in my life, I'm not going to lie. It's just the overall package. So as you can see, it's not a huge statue by any means. I mean, it's decent enough. It's what you want it to be with Mortal Kombat. You've got the blood, you've got it going through. It's pretty cool. But I mean, you know, I don't know what this would have RRP'd at, but I wouldn't have assumed it was cheap. You know, I would want a bigger statue than that if I was to display it as a statue, but I'm not. I'm displaying it as a collector's edition, and I think it looks very good as a collector's edition. So maybe the sacrifice of not having a bigger statue makes for a better display piece, which is what I'm all about, so it kind of works. But you can see what I'm saying, like, I think £70 is quite a lot of money for what you get, but like I say, it's just that the fact it's uncommon. But yeah, we're in good condition. I'm happy with that. Let me know, guys, if there's any other Xbox 360 collector's editions of this type. So ones that aren't too big, ones that will fit in with my collection, preferably ones that have like a window with a statue or collector's something inside, because they're the things that obviously I really enjoy collecting and displaying. But yeah, happy with that. And what this now means is that we can crack on with the Xbox area. Finally, let's do it. So there's quite a sizable pile now of new Xbox items that need a home. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, cut the montage. This is going to take too long for a montage. This is, yeah, there's a lot of thinking involved here. I've been able to get Mortal Kombat in there. But yeah, so many things to add, which then requires so many other things to be moved. But yeah, I'm going to put the camera down, put my thinking cap on, and I'll just show you guys when it's done. Guys, I don't think you'd believe me if I told you how long it's taken me to sort out this Xbox area. So many iterations I've been through, but it's amazing. It's took, I don't know how many attempts. Basically every game on here was moved at some point, but take a look. Okay, so first things first, in order to create all the space I needed, I've moved Ryu. So Ryu now sort of sits behind the sofa there. He was sort of blocking way too much real estate on the shelving, so he's gone. I've also taken out games like Skylanders and things like that I just did not need in my collection. But yeah, as you can see, I've been able to put Tekken forward facing, which I really was hoping to be able to do. Everything, as I say, has moved to some extent or another. Alan Wake now ends the standard run of games. Then we go into bigger box and some steel books. And the other thing I've managed to do is get Dragon Ball back on display. You guys know how much I love that steelbook. I've been able to manufacture some of these things by moving Pro Evo. So Pro Evo's now got its own little section before we go into Xbox One. Mortal Kombat, because it is a slightly taller collector's edition, that's gone nicely there. And then we've sort of amalgamated some of the Xbox One and 360 special editions. Halo Reach is now forward facing as well, just because it displays better forwards. It's one of them like real clear, just black spines. But all in all, yeah, very happy to have got everything that I wanted in this area. Everything that I wanted forward facing pretty much is now forward facing. I think next time we have a big sort out around here, Xbox One will have to be taken out. I've got so much 360 and there's still a lot of nice 360 pieces that I want to buy that eventually Xbox One will have to get moved along. But for now, really happy to have all my Xbox in one area, eventually displayed how I want. And that is going to do it for this week's Ghetto vlog. We didn't get time to do the Lego Army display as I intended, but you will of course see it on Wednesday's game room tour. There's still loads in here that I need to be doing over the next few days. Loads of the shelves still need rearranging. I've got painting I need to do, I've got sanding, I've got holes that need filling. Yeah, just the whole room basically needs sprucing up and making its best ready for Wednesday, so I'm going to be cracking on with that now. Before I get out of here though, as promised, I want to detail the road trip that I've been teasing for a few weeks. So myself, Kev, the Slimehouse crew, Theo and Bentlegs, we are going to be at Leeds Retro Game Fair, which is on Saturday the 3rd of February. So as you're watching this on Sunday, next week, next Saturday. But we've decided to make a weekend of it. We're heading out Friday. We are going to be going to York, so we're going to be going to Sawthorne Games. We're going to be going to Arcade Club in Leeds. We're going to be going out that night. Obviously, it's all going to get vlogged. And then we've got the main event of Leeds Retro Game Market itself. I'm so excited. It's been a long time. It's been almost a year since I've been to a retro games market. I think Birmingham was the last one I went to last year. Cannot wait. And yeah, I've been somewhat saving pennies and hustling and selling bits, as you've seen, to hopefully find some nice pieces for the collection. So there's never been a better time to keep it locked to the Retro Ghetto if you're not already subscribed. If you're going to Leeds Retro Market, let me know in the comments. It'd be great to see you. If you see me at the event, make sure you say hello. But yeah, we're just a week away from that and I'm real excited about it. But I don't have time to think about that yet. There's still so much to do in this room. Make sure you check out Wednesday's game room tour. Before I get out of here, I've got to give a massive thank you, a special mention to my friend Craig, who last week sent me this copy of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. He sent it without a note, so it was somewhat anonymous, but yeah, my good friend Craig sent that, so massive shout out to you, and hopefully I'll see you at Leeds next week as well. But guys, as always, play your games, keep it retro. In a bit.
Retro Ghetto.
Lock into the Retro Ghetto.